Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Millennialz Anonymous Podcast. Yeah, my name is Lise and I'm a flippin' millennial. So let's get this party started right and quickly. But before I could do that, you know what I gotta do? I do it every single week. I gotta shout out my peoples. I gotta shout out to Guru. I gotta shout out to E Digger. I gotta shout out to Ashley over there in brunching, because we brunched today. We had brunching today. We brunched and we had a guest. We was drinking out virtual mimosas. For me, I had my virtual Patron, but that's okay. It technically was water, but sometimes you gotta pretend what you don't got. You know what I mean? So shout out to brunching over there and to Darius West for coming and gracing the brunching podcast with his presence. I appreciate him. He came all the way from Los Angeles, Cali on the virtual line. He was all the way over there in Verizon. Listen, baby, I was trying to do something and you didn't want me to be great. I pay my bills, Verizon, but you didn't want me to be great. And I don't know why you didn't want me to be great, but that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, that is okay, Verizon. We need to talk, though. Maybe you can give me a discount. I don't know, because it wasn't working. All right. But we did get the full show, and Darius was amazing. He is not related to Kanye West. I did ask. You know, that's just what I do. He is not related to Kanye West at all, but he does hope to meet him someday. If you are not a big Christian hip-hop type of person, I'm not either. You can tell by my mouth, but I learned something new. So if you are kind of curious, like, what is Christian rap, you've got to watch his film, which is coming out in 2020. It was supposed to be summer 2020, but because of the quarantine, got pushed back. So make sure that you tune in and check out Mic Drop, the culture of Christian rap, so that you could see that. And on brunching next week, we're going to have Head Crack coming on there. Yes, Head Crack from Dish Nation. So he will be gracing the brunching podcast with all of his musical knowledge. And we're going to have a blast talking to him, because he's just such a musical genius. Like, I like people that are like musical nerds. I love that. I love a nerd in anything. Nerds are dope as shit. So if you're a nerd, shout out to you. Okay? Because, like, I was just thinking they should remake The Revenge of the Nerds. I was just telling somebody this, and hopefully nobody steals my idea or whatever. But I was telling somebody that I think that they should remake The Revenge of the Nerds, but with black women. I think that would be so dope. We never see black women in that really intellectual, smart role. And I think putting a bunch of different types of black women in those roles, or predominantly black women in those roles, is going to be dope as hell. So I'm just saying, I don't know, Issa. I know you got a lot on your plate. Potentially, maybe not. I know you're doing this wrestling thing with The Rock and everything. Maybe the nerds. You know what I mean? Maybe. And you know how much I don't like remakes, but I think remaking something like that, or creating something new out of that kind of like that genre, would be pretty dope. I'm just saying. But let's get into these top 10 trends and topics of the week. Alright, so here go the top 10 trending topics of the week. Let's get it. So, here we go. The sex addicts are actually struggling through this quarantine, and nobody was thinking about y'all. We sorry. So, shout out to all my people who are listening to this and working at home with one hand on the computer and the other hand, I don't know where. Maybe it's somewhere. You know what I mean? So, shout out to all of y'all. But according to Vice.com, they are saying I sound like Donald Trump. People are saying I'm hearing things. So according to psychologists, they're saying that sex addicts are struggling through this because they are one of the only people that cannot have access to their vice. So if you're a foodie like me, you could go to the grocery store, you could re-up, you know what I mean? You can go get you some more snacks and some Cheetos and some Doritos and some Fritos. Yes, honey, yes. You can go get that. If you like a little drink, maybe you like a little tip. You can go get your little tip. You can even have the wine tip to your house. You know what I mean? But you can't get no booty coming to your house because it's quarantine and you don't want to be getting that COVID. It's already bad enough that you trying to abandon getting all the other 50,000 STIs that are out there in the world. Like, you don't want to have to, you jumped over gonorrhea, right? You jumped over chlamydia, right? And then you end up jumping into COVID. Like, that's just not what you want. And so they is like really, really struggling out here in these streets. And I didn't even know. Now, somebody explained to me How does one know that they are a sex addict? What does it take? Is it like I gotta have sex every 5 minutes? Is it like every 10 minutes? Like, is it like a dilation? Like, what qualifies you as a sex addict? What would it have to happen in order for you to be a sex addict? Because that's the only addiction I can't really grasp. Because I was like, aren't we all like a little sex every now and again? You know what I mean? Except for the people that's, sell a bit. They sell a bit by bit, except for them. But everybody else likes a little sex every now and again. So how do you know? You know what I mean? Like, how do you know that you are a sex addict? Somebody explain that to me. And Donald Trump said, hey, I don't like doing these news briefings no more. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of y'all. Yeah, I'm tired of it. And after he suggested that people drink bleach and put light bulbs up their asses, he said that he don't want to be doing it no more. He said, you know what? It's not even worth my time. It just, it take too much time for me to just come out here and just start riffing off the head. People just, they don't be liking my commentary. People don't be liking my stand-up. And I worked all day on this stand-up material and people don't even be liking it. And so he said he don't even want to be coming to y'all people no more. That's why on Friday he was like, nope, I ain't answering none of y'all questions, because y'all ain't gonna get me out here in these streets looking like I don't know what I'm talking about when I don't know what I'm talking about. Y'all not gonna have me out here. Now, I will say that this was a hard week for Republicans. If you are a Republican, this was a hard week. Especially if you're a Donald Trump supporter. This is a hard week. Like, let's just be 100. Like, this was hard. This was one of them things where you like, I just, when they started giving you that bullshit, I don't agree with everything he says, but I support his policies. Like, no, this come with the man. I need for you to know that this stupid bullshit comes with the man. And at this point, I'm like, I don't even know what to say anymore. And for all of y'all out there that's eating Tide Pods and drinking bleach and sticking lightsabers up your ass, it wasn't acceptable before he said it. Why would you think that it's acceptable now? You know what I mean? Like, what? It don't even. Okay. Never mind. I'm just going to leave it alone. And in other craziness types of worldly things going on, an 18-year-old girl gets stuck in a washing machine playing hide and seek with her younger sibling. Now, I don't know about your mama. I don't know about your mom, but if my mama had to call the paramedics to get me out of the goddamn washing machine at 18, I don't think I would ever live that down. I don't think that ever was going to live down. I think I probably would have got my ass beat after I got out of the goddamn washing machine. And I'm thinking, like, you 18, like, what types, like, this, she's on the way to, like, what college do you put that on the application? You know what I mean? Like, that should automatically disqualify. Because I'm thinking, she probably was like, I'm going to kill him. I'm killing with this spot. I'm going to kill him with this spot. I'm going to get in the washing machine. Ain't nobody going to find me. Ain't nobody going to find me in this goddamn washing machine. And I'm just trying to think, how do you even get in a washing machine? Because my big ass ain't getting in no, even at 18, my big ass wasn't getting in a washing machine. And maybe that's why I'm hating on you, girl. Because my big ass wouldn't have gotten a washing machine. And maybe your ass couldn't get in a washing machine either because you couldn't get out. So maybe nobody need to put their ass in the washing machine. I'm just trying to think, like, she crunked down and, like, what logic did that make sense? Like, I just would love to know her thought process of getting in that goddamn washing machine. I'm like, all the places you could have hid, these was little kids, like, you could have hid anywhere. You hide in the washing machine. They wasn't paying you. You wasn't getting paid for this. This is not Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. You get your ass up out that washing machine. And this is just terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Terrible. And then Kanye West, speaking of Mr. West, he said, I was a billionaire now. So now he's a billionaire. He said, but Forbes had him in there for $1 billion. He said, no. I gotta have more money than Jay-Z. I know I got at least $3.3 billion in there. So he's saying he's worth $3.3 billion. Shout out to Kanye West and shout out to the Kardashians. Apparently, if you touch a Kardashian, you get $1 billion. Like, that's just kind of how it is. I don't know. So he's worth $3 billion. He said he's worth $3 billion. I don't know how Forbes comes up with these numbers. Somebody has to explain that to me, because I don't know how a valuation of a company would make you a billionaire when you don't actually have that amount of liquid assets. I don't know. Somebody, I don't know. Don't even explain it to me. I ain't never gonna have that kind of money, so you don't need to explain nothing to me. I don't need to know it. And Kim Jong-un said, I'm well, I'm good. So apparently there was a rumor going out there that he was not doing well, that he was sick, he had a botched heart surgery, and that he was in a vegetative state. They had some Chinese doctors that were supposed to be coming to get him. He said no. Or his peoples. He ain't say shit. His people said, nah. He good. So I don't know what's going on with that, but he said he good. Well, I don't know. And Erykah Badu thinks Lauryn Hill will pulverize her in an IG battle. She said that she think that she can't win that. So Erykah said she is going to get her freshly smelled floral vagina handed to her by Lauryn Hill. And I'm like, listen, Erykah, I don't know if that's true. Because with Lauryn Hill, she got one album. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Does she play the whole album? Just hit play and just hit the CD, just hit it and just walk away? Or the cassette? Because back then it was like 98. I think they had cassettes still. Does she just hit the cassette and then flip it over to the B-side when the time comes? Because that's all she really got. So you got Bag Lady, you got Call Tyrone, you got so many hits, Erykah. I don't know if I think she's baiting Lauryn. But she know how Lauryn is. Because even if Lauryn says she's going to do it, she's going to show up 2 hours late to the daggone IG battle, or she might not show up at all. So we don't even tease us with that, Erykah. And by the way, I don't want to smell your incense line, but people were saying that her poom poom smells good. So I don't know, like it's sold out, and she's doing quite well with these poom poom incense. I don't know what it is with men with these that want to smell. Why do you want your house to smell like vajayjay? Like, why do you want to walk into your house and smell coochie? Like, I don't get it. Like, somebody, because, like, I don't, like I said, I don't want to walk into your, and I said this last time, I was like, I don't want to walk into your house and smell like, what does that smell? It smells like what cat in here? Like, why, is that kitty litter? Like, what does that smell? Like, I don't know, the musk of it, it's just musky. I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, I don't know, are we getting 40-some-year-old, 50-some-year-old Erykah Vajay? Like, is this 20-year-old Erykah Vajay? Is this, like, because it aged, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know what we get. So but shout out to her for making her monies, but I don't know, Erykah. I don't know about that. And P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs revealed to Fat Joe that there actually is a versus battle between him and Dre in the works on Fat Joe's IG the other day. I'm excited to see it. I think this will definitely be a banger. I think that this will be paid. I think we will not get this free. I'm pretty sure, like they said, pay-per-view, we're going to get it on pay-per-view. Maybe Revolt. I think Diddy might put it on Revolt, so we might be able to get it on Revolt. So if you got cable, you good or whatever. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe we'll put it on IG for y'all or whatever. But I mean, I do have cable, so I would watch it if it's free. Like, some people were saying, like, I'll pay for it. Like, the rich folks, they were like, we'll pay for it. I ain't paying for shit. Like, I can't, like, right now, we in the quarantine. Like, people, the money has dried up. Like, they done ran out of money at the money place that they make money at the United States, and we can't be doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I need to save my little coins that I got. I can't be paying for Dre. Dre a billionaire. I can't be doing that. Diddy got all that money. I know. So he could be saying, take that. I don't want that, Diddy. Like, put it on Revolt, make it free, and we can bump to that. And I also will say this. Big ups to Diddy. Like, I had originally said that Dr. Dre kicks Diddy's bad boy booty in this battle. I don't know if that's true. If you look at Diddy's catalog, his discography, the things that he's produced, he actually has a really robust, heavy catalog. He has Mary stuff. He has Faith stuff. He has Biggie stuff. He has, The Locks, he has Total. Like, he got such a well-rounded repertoire. I don't know if Dre can do that. Dre, it's sort of like the Babyface Teddy Riley battle, where you have one of like the slow jams guy and the uptown guy. Like, I don't know. Now I actually want to see the battle, because I think it depends on how they place their stuff and what songs they play. Because at the end of the day, they both got bangers. California Love was a banger. You know, all the Gin and Juice was a banger. Like, all of those, forget about Dre. Like, there's so many songs that are just like, oh, I don't know, but I ain't paying for it. That's all I'm saying. Now, listen Swiss and Timbaland, I ain't paying for it. I love y'all. I love Diddy, and I love, Dre and all their music, but I can't. We brokes out here. We brokes. Them stimulus checks is already spent, baby. And speaking of billionaires, so let's talk about some more black billionaires. Jordan. So according to Eminem, Michael Jordan actually gave him the silent treatment. He called him on the phone, I guess, a while back, and he was making a joke and said, like, I could slam dunk on Jordan or whatever. And this is according to Hip Hop DX. And Jordan just kind of went silent on him, like, I ain't having that. And Eminem was like, I think anybody would know that I'm joking. Like, who could just dunk on Jordan, especially like me? Like, I can't just dunk on Jordan. But Michael Jordan was like, he was kind of feeling some kind of way. So you don't joke with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is one of them people where I feel like if you ever met him, he don't play around with the bullshit. Like, if you saw Michael Jordan, he still got the hoop from 1998. You know what I mean? He's still rocking that from 1998. He still got this whole 1998 vibe. When they showed him on The Last Dance, he got this whole swag of 1998. And I love it. I really do. He wears the Jordans ain't nobody else got. He got them orthopedic Jordans on that can't nobody else wear, but he can, because he is the original Jordan. He is out here looking 1998 sharp. You hear me? And that's what money looks like. And money looks like I can be with whatever fucking decade I want. And I choose the 90s. So he out here looking good, but you don't mess with Jordan. And The Last Dance is dope as shit. That's a good documentary if you have not had a chance to see it. And lastly but not least, the coronavirus is killing the influencer market. So we're not gonna get any more booties sitting on sinks and all of that, because right now they're saying sponsorships are drying up. There are not a lot of sponsors that are just giving out money for influencers to try to get people to buy stuff, because shit is closed. And I don't need a skinny model, an Instagram girl selling me some flat tummy tea. I know that shit don't work. Okay, you're not gonna sell that to me, baby. I get it. You're not gonna tell me that this helped you when you weighed 100 pounds ever since you was an adult. Like, I don't need you to sell me that, okay? I don't need you to sell me no more waist cinchers. I don't need you to sell me no more edge drops. Like, I'm good. I don't know. I think this might change the influencer market. I think that I think sponsors are gonna ask for a little more. I think they're gonna want a little more return on their investment. Just having your booty cheeks out and, sitting on the Lord sink or whatever, and having a couple of Lord followers and stuff like that, and a pretty face ain't gonna be enough. They gonna say, we gonna need that return on investment, baby. So this has been your top 10 trending topics of the week. Yeah, I did it real slow. Of the week. All right, here we go. Alright, so let's talk about this Russell Simmons documentary where Uncle Russ over there, he doing his little yoga poses. Let's talk about Uncle Russ real quick. So there is a documentary about Russell Simmons and the sexual assault allegations against him that's coming out very soon. I don't know exactly when the date is, but I think it's coming out pretty soon. And I saw this originally on another platform. Now, they wasn't the first, you know what I mean? They didn't break the story. It wasn't like an exclusive, but this was the first platform that I saw the actual trailer on. Because I knew this was coming, because people, we had talked about this on Millennialz a couple months back. We were talking about this, and we were talking about Oprah and how Oprah just kind of like jumping on the bandwagon of these documentaries. And like I said last time, I think Oprah needs to open up her little catalog, because her little resume looking a little dark over there. Like, everybody that you going after is the same. Like, you need to open your menu up, your horizons. You need some more on here than some just dark meat. You gotta get some chicken breasts too. Put some of them breasts on here, because it's like it's all thighs and legs. Like, we need you to open this up. And so we had already talked about that, but now it's actually coming out. And I told y'all, if you go back and listen to one of them podcast dates in January, I don't know the numbers. I don't keep track of the numbers. I don't got people to do that. And we talked about it, and I said I don't want to see it. I was like, I don't want to see it. This, of all the documentaries you could have made, you make this one. This the one you make. Ain't nobody was looking for Uncle Russ documentaries. And now that it's out, I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually want to see it. Like, the women in here, they seem really credible to me. Like, it's done, the trailer was done very well, that I am intrigued. So I would like to hear it. And one of the things that stood out to me, like the morning sun, like sweet morning dew, I took one look at you, is that all of these women in the film, or in the trailer at least, well, not in the documentary, but in the trailer, were black. So now it puts black women against black men again. So it puts it back where black men and black women are against each other again, because now we have to make a decision about who we believe. Do you believe black women, or do you believe this black man? We there again. And it's like, oh, we back in this scenario. And it's like, listen, I said it last time. I'm not going to say that he didn't do it, and I'm not going to say that he did, because I wasn't there. But what I will say is, when I read that passage that he wrote to Oprah, who I believe she dropped out of this because she talked to Uncle Russ. She talked to him about them rush cards and everything, and she talked to him, and I think she pulled out because she got bad media, and Uncle Russ was in her ear, and she pulled out. And they said that the women felt abandoned because she did that. But I believe that's why, despite what she was saying, that she had a difference of opinion with the daggone producers and directors of the film, which she never elaborated on what those differences were, which I would like to hear that, Oprah, by the way. But he never said that he did not do it. Basically, what he said was, what happened was, in this open letter he wrote to Oprah, he said he has slept with thousands of women, and it's possible that they got their recollection of the event incorrect. That it was definitely consensual encounters that they had. He remembers, but he's saying that all of these women don't remember it correctly. That to me was like a blaring light, like an engine light. You ever seen your engine lights come on in your car? You may not know what it mean. Like, oh, what is that? I don't know what that symbol is. Is that an engine, or is that a kidney? Like, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's an intestine. Like, but it came on, so it kind of alerts you like something is off, something is wrong, something is happening. That's what happened. So when I read that, I was like, oh, Uncle Russ, you supposed to be yoga and Zen and everything and vegan, and you over here. I'm like, I don't know, Russ. You better put them chickens down, baby, because I don't know, baby. Like, this just didn't seem right. And then when I was reading through it, the more you watch this trailer, the more credible it became to me. Like I said, I wasn't there. I don't know if it happened or not, but I will say that I'm going to watch it. It did pique my interest. It wasn't like the Leaving Neverland bullshit that they came out with, where when I even saw the trailer, I was like, oh, I ain't watching that bullshit. Like, it was just one of them things. And it's not that I don't believe the people or whatever, even though I think they kind of was shaky with their stories, and I think some of them have now recanted the stories that they told. But I think it was just the way it was presented. It just was not presented correctly. Like, it was to the point where it's like, oh, this seems like not credible to me. But I think that this one seems credible, and I think it also brings in a different element, because this woman was already in the industry. So it wasn't like he did give her a job, but she was already in the industry and she was doing quite well. in her role. So she already had access to these artists, and she already had access to money and things like that. So it wasn't that she was in this dire need in order to kind of like reach out to him and in order to get what she was getting. So I'm curious. So I'm curious to see what happens, in this documentary and what her story is. And I think that we owe black women that. As a black woman, I think we owe black women that, because we tend to not protect black women. It's always the protection of black men, and black women don't protect other black women. We tend to always want to protect the black man, and we see that every single day. And so I think we owe them at least that. Of course, make your own decision. Once you watch the documentary, make your decision. Like, oh, I don't believe what they're saying. You have every right to do that, but at least hear them out. You know what I mean? Like, at least hear the story, hear what they're saying. And of course, when you don't have a public persona like Russell Simmons, you don't have the people that have this allure. So of course you're starting backwards. So now these women are trying to gain credibility that Russell Simmons already has through his work. So they're already starting backwards. So people are already doubting them. And it takes a lot for somebody who has been sexually abused or sexually assaulted to come out, because a lot of the times this is what you get. Like, I don't believe you. You trying to take him down. Because like I said, black women don't protect black women because we're taught to protect the black man. And at the end of the day, the black man is so busy trying to protect himself that he has to neglect the protection of the black woman. And that's why the black women are usually the most undervalued, unprotected in society, because of that. And so I think that we need to at least hear it. Let's at least hear it. You know what I mean? And then we can make a decision from there. But it does seem that it was done well. The filming of it, the storytelling of it, because I think they're going to go into the hip hop side of it too, because like she had a tape that Biggie Smalls gave her and they were talking about that. So I think it's going to be about her. So you're going to learn about her and not just, like, I think Leaving Neverland was so heavily focused on all the bad about Michael Jackson that it didn't talk about who the accusers were at all. Like, we didn't get a chance to know who they were. It was just like, he did this, blame. That was all we got from that. And I think that some people who are really big Michael fans, even if it were true, wouldn't have wanted to hear that told in that way. And so I think that them kind of giving more background on her and kind of explaining who she is and her position in music and how, I think that is going to give a better understanding of who she is, which will make people kind of at least listen to her, and at least raise the eyebrows of, maybe she really is telling the truth. Like, maybe this is something that it could have potentially happened. Like I said, Russell Simmons, he said in the day, he said, well, maybe these 1,000 women I had sex with, maybe they remembered it incorrectly. Everything was consensual. I don't need to do that to women and all of that stuff. But he didn't say that he didn't, because I would have just said that I did not rape these people. That is completely false, but that's not what we got in that open letter to Oprah. So like I said, I don't know if he did it or if he didn't do it. But what I will say is I think we owe them at least a listen. At least a listen. Now, I don't know when it comes out, though. I don't know when. I think it comes out sometime in the summer, if I'm not mistaken. Or it comes out on HBO, so it's on HBO Max is when or the channel that it's supposed to come out on. So if you have HBO, like I don't got HBO, I got the app. I got the app, so I probably gotta watch it later. But it comes out on HBO, and it looks like the dates of it, I don't know if they have the date yet. They don't have the date here. Okay. So it doesn't list the date, I guess, when it gets closer to it. Oh, May 27th. So it comes out on May 27th. So you can watch it on HBO Max on May 27th. So watch it. At least hear it out. because I think that it is very important that we at least do that. We owe black women at least that, because a lot of the times with sexual assault, especially in the African American community against black women, it gets pushed under the rug. People don't talk about it, and it kind of gets negated. And so we need to at least hear it out to hear what they have to say. I'm just saying. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the draft, the virtual draft. So it was interesting to see the draft be virtual, but I didn't mind it. So I think we got, like, to me, the draft was more, because for the last, usually I don't watch the whole draft, but the last 2 years I've been watching the whole draft. But I will say that this year's draft was much more entertaining, because not only was you getting to see who picked who and who had the best draft and all of that bullshit, you got to see the inside of their life. You know what I mean? You got to see their house. I was looking in the background at people's stuff. Like, it was very distracting, because I was looking at the backgrounds of people's houses. I was trying to see, okay, what they got on their countertops. Okay, let me see what they got over there. Is their house dirty? It looked like it's a little dirty. Like, I was so enthralled in trying to figure out who these people were and, you know, what was going on in the background, that it was hard to figure out who team was up and who got what and who's, you know, traded to who and what. I was just so focused on what was going on. We had people getting drafted in robes. I was like, you couldn't have put no clothes on. You said, you know what? You gonna draft me, or you not gonna draft me? I'm gonna come to this in the best suit I got. It's the suit that Jesus made. I'm gonna come to this draft in my birthday suit. Yes, I am. He had on a whole white robe, and I was like, okay. It looked like he had on a whole white robe, like he had just finished fucking. Like, I was like, ooh, okay, all right. You don't wanna put no clothes on. All right, baby. Okay, well, this is what we doing. I mean, he was a wide receiver, so I guess, you know, that's just a part of it, you know, what you get or whatever. But I just like, that was a lot. You could have at least put a shirt on. You know what I mean? You know, put some pants on. The pants, I think, is more important than the shirt. At least you could have put some pants on. You know, put some pants on for your mama. Okay? Put some pants on for your mama. And also, shout out to all the families who supported, and to all of the people who were there at the draft. They said, fuck this quarantine. Like, it was a lot of people that was just in there, and they was just like, you know what? We just gonna be out here. Like, if we get the Rona, it don't matter. Because if I was an an NFL team, I would have been concerned. You know what I mean? I was like, my money's. I'm gonna need y'all to go home, because I don't need y'all cough on my dude. You know, whatever. Like, y'all a little close. There's no social distancing, and I need for that. I gotta protect my investment in y'all. It's a little close. Like, I would have been like calling, like, hello, you know, Joe Burrow. I appreciate you, you know, welcome to Ohio, you know, welcome to Cincinnati, where the state of Ohio, where the quarterbacks go to die. You know what I mean? I appreciate you. But y'all a little close. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all, you could tell your grandma to just go home. She need to go to hell home. Like, I need you to tell her to go home. You call on the phone, because I need to protect my investment. Like that. See, to me, that's what I would have did. And see, that's what I'm not a GM. That's why I'm not a coach. Okay. Because that's what I would have said. I would say, she's a little close. I'm gonna need you to tell your uncle he a little close. He put his hand on you, and I don't like it. You know what I mean? But you know, it was so much to ingest. It was entertaining. Like, I watched that with popcorn. Like, it was one of them nights where you knew it was gonna be entertaining. Like, Roger Goodell looked like he was about to tell us a story. Like, I thought it was Mr. Rogers, and I was waiting. I was like, oh. And for those of you that don't know football, that's the commissioner, the NFL commissioner. So I thought he was going to tell us a story. Every time we looked at him, it came to break, he had another piece of clothes off. It was like, at first he was standing up, then he was sitting down, and he started laying back, then he took his shoes off. I was like, okay, where's this going? This is NFL After Dark, baby. Like, this is a lot. You and the boy at the robe. Like, he gonna be in a robe next. Like, I was concerned. I was like, did he leave with you, or you with him? Like, I didn't know what was going on, and it was a lot. But But that wasn't even it. They didn't even, like, they had the fans on the screen, and even though the fans wasn't there in New York, they was still booing. Like, you know, some things just never change. I'm like, y'all booing for your own peoples. Like, it was just what is this? Like, we did the COVID-19, y'all still booing? Like, what? We got bigger things to worry about, baby. But they was still booing. And then we had the girlfriends. Okay. And then we had the girlfriends. So the girlfriends was doing the most. Like, they were just all over the place. Like, it was one of them things where it was like, baby, you ain't even secured the bag yet, and you already trying to give it away. Like, what? It was a lot. And I think a lot of people were just kind of like shocked by it, because I think if they were actually at the draft, we wouldn't have seen this level of entertainment. We wouldn't have seen it. We would not have seen it. So we had the cowboy, CeeDee Lamb, whose girlfriend used to date Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks, if I'm not mistaken, allegedly, if you gotta use that tag. And she decided that this was the perfect time to reach over and, you know, take a phone call, you know, but she didn't just take a phone call. She decided that she was going to take her man's phone, while they were on live stream on national TV. And she thought that she was going to take his phone and that it was going to change. And I'm like, listen, girl. Listen, baby, you know he don't allow you to hold his phone on any other day. Like, why would you think this day would be the day that the Lord has made that would allow you to be able to take the phone out of his hand? Like, I don't understand why you would think that just because he might get a little money now, the money ain't going to change the man. The man is already made, baby. He is the man in the mirror. That is who he is. He ain't going to let you hold that phone. You knew he said, you ain't never going to get this phone out of my hand. You knew he had said that to you. Like, y'all have had this conversation. I could tell in your face when you got embarrassed. Like, your face was tight. You know what I mean? Like, I could feel your butt cheeks clench up real tight. When it happened, I could see it. You sucked a couple couch cushions in at the time. And I'm just thinking to myself, I was, just saying to myself, like, Lise, like, why would she do that? Like, as I was watching it, I had second degree embarrassment, because I understand as a woman, okay? I understand how you want to see your man phone. I understand you, baby. I've been there. When I was young, I've been fighting over phones. I know how that is, fighting over passwords and carrying on. I know what that's like. I get you. But why would you do that on the TV so that now everybody's seeing you get your face tight? So now the side chicks who is winning, by the way, which we was talking about on brunching, they winning because his side piece is home somewhere, quarantined, right? So, you was trying to get her number. She don't even need you to get her number. She don't need your number, because he gonna call her now that you're gonna get replaced. And then the side chick is gonna be the main chick because you thought that you was Verizon. And that is just not how it is. You're not Verizon Wireless. You ain't fixing phones. You're not fixing screens. Like, baby. You knew that. Like, y'all had this conversation before. I could tell. And you know how I know you could tell y'all had this conversation before? Because his mama had that look on her face like, what this motherfucker? No, she not about to do. And when a black woman have that face, a black mama have that face to a girlfriend, y'all have had that conversation. His mama has had that conversation with you, saying you better leave CD alone. You know what I mean? Any man that's now he gonna have a little money in his pocket, you knew he wasn't gonna allow you to do that. You knew that. You knew that. Any man that's named after a past musical device ain't gonna allow you to take his phone. Which is funny to me, because I was like, I would love to know what the CD means. Like, what is that? Is that a, like, I would love to know what it means. Like, if somebody knows what that means, just let me know. I'm just curious, because I was like, is his brother named VHS? You know what I mean? And, you know, Betamax. Like, I'm just curious. But it's you knew, girl. Like, just because you was light-skinned don't mean he wasn't going to take that phone out your hand. You knew you wasn't supposed to be doing that. And that's probably why you fumbled the bag in the other place. Like, you had another player and you ended up on the couch with a college guy. Like, I'm trying to figure out how does that happen? Like, how do you go from the professional back down to the college? And you know why that happened? Because you still trying to get in people's phones. You ain't on that level yet. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, you gotta graduate to the phone password levels, but you not there yet. And then by next year, you probably won't be there at all, because he gonna be like, it's a lot. Because I know his mama looked and they had a conversation. So don't be doing that. And the other person who really made a splash, she had a bigger draft night than Isaiah Wilson. She had a bigger draft night than Isaiah Wilson and the Tennessee Titans, who got him. Basically, his mama had said, baby girl, why are you on his lap? Like, you know, because well, no, she didn't say baby girl. She said, bitch, if you don't get the fuck up off my son. Like, she yanked her off his lap so quick. I didn't know she was getting kidnapped. I was concerned. I was like, somebody go get her. Like, I didn't know what was happening. Like, it was a lot of things that were going on that was just like, oh. It's a lot of things going on right now on the screen. I'm not sure what's happening. I was like, she just got kidnapped and he's just sitting there. I'm not sure. Because then, you know, because a lot of people saying that mama wanted to be on the screen, but mama really wasn't on the screen. She just had pulled her off. You know, we couldn't even see his face. We just seen her face. And for a minute there, I thought he was adopted, because she was looking a little old in the face. Okay. I mean, maybe from a different angle, she might look younger, but right there, she was looking a little old in the face. And it was like, wow. I thought that was his adoptive mother, and I wasn't sure. I didn't know that was his girlfriend at the time. So when that was happening, I was like, oh my God, she's pulling the adoptive mother off of his lap. And I was so concerned. And then I found out it was his girlfriend. And then I was like, oh, well, it's still concerning. Where does she go at? Like, what happened? And I would love to have been there to see what the conversation, because you could see mama was moving her hands. So, you know, they was having a conversation while she was there. And she probably was like, Isaiah, why you got this white girl sitting all over your lap on TV? You know that you can't be. I know that's what was going on. I know that was what was going down right there. I know that. So I'm interested to see if these relationships last. Make it last forever and ever. My money's on no. You know, my money's on no. One, because they're young. Okay, most young relationships don't go nowhere. Like, let's just be totally 100. Yeah, there are some relationships with people that last forever. Like you have LeBron James and Savannah, but most people, okay, let's just be totally 100. Let's be transparent. When you're dating an athlete, they can rotate you out. Like, they will upgrade you in the middle of conversation. Like, they could do that because now they have the access. So most of these relationships ain't gonna last anyway. And I think after this, you get clowned enough on social media. Like, do you just look at the person and say, you know what? I don't think this is gonna work. Like, it's just, you know, it's a lot of, you know, they talking more about you get snatched up off my mama snatching you up off my lap than they talking about me. And then I can't have that. Alright, so here's the next topic that I want to talk about. And you're probably gonna be like, okay, wait a minute, where are we going with this one? So what happened was, so Brunchin, we have I mean, it's really the same show, but it comes on at a different time. So basically, it's brunching, but it's brunching after dark. And so we talk about, you can get it on our Patreon. So if you become a subscriber to Patreon, you can see these brunching after dark episodes before everyone else or whatever. But what I'm saying is that we have another show, technically, or an extended show where it's brunching after dark, and we talk about really, really raunchy stuff on here, right? So we talk about very suggestive topics. The first brunching after dark we had, it got kind of rowdy. So I was drinking vodka. I had one too many, and I started talking. And one of the things that came up to me and became very apparent and clear is that I think that we judge women a lot differently than we judge men. And then I also was curious to see, what the thought process was on it, because I had asked the question. So basically, we were talking about, I guess you could say, fellatio. And I was saying that I just had a lot of fellatio in college. Like, I gave a lot of fellatio in college or whatever. And so, now I can't live that down. All the brunching crew wants to kind of clown on me. And so here's the thing. I will say that it wasn't like, and then when I told him, like, hey, it wasn't like multiple people or whatever. Like, it was like one. Like, but I did it multiple times. Does that count as being... Well, I guess it's not promiscuous, but you know what I mean? Like, does that count in your mileage? Like, so if I went on to someone else, is that something that you say, well, I've been with this X amount of people, or I had sex X amount of times, but it was with the same person? Is that 1,000 times with the same person the same as 1,000 times with 1,000 different people, or is that different? And so me personally, I don't think 1,000 people is a lot, even though we not out here being like music executive numbers or nothing like that. But I think it shouldn't for women, even though it does matter. I think it matters more for women than it does men. Like, I'm not out here in these streets. I just want to be totally 100% transparent. I ain't never been out here in these streets like that. I've always been a person that has been very exclusive to one person. Like, I'm that person. Like, once I found my person, that's going to be my person. And I'm going to rock with you until we ain't rocking no more. And so that's the type of person I am. So when I say stuff like that, it gets people kind of be looking at me in a different way. And I was like, okay, I got to fix this. I gotta fix it, because no, I wasn't out here hoeing in college. Like, and shout out to all the hoes. If you like to have a few in hoe, that's fine. I'm not judging you, but I'm just saying that's not me. So I'm a Libra, and I'm a truly, let me stop that. He goes sidebar to a sidebar. Stop this astrology sign bullshit. Like, it does irritate me, because I was about to do it myself. It does irritate me that people will typecast a motherfucker because of when your birthday was. Like, that shit don't. It's so vague. That could be you. Like, it's just so vague. Like, you have to. All the stuff is like, you get. Scorpios, they get mad sometimes. Don't we all fucking get mad sometimes? Like, I mean, and then people be out here living, you a Taurus, I can't talk to you. Like, y'all are really walking past y'all whole soulmates because y'all reading a fucking fortune cookie. Like, the shit just don't make any goddamn sense. But back to what I was talking about. Sidebar to a sidebar, sorry. So I was saying that if you out here with 1 or 2, 3 in the hole, that's fine. I don't care. But that's not who I was. That's not what I was doing. I was not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 in the hole. Okay, I was one. I had one, but I did use that one a lot of times. So I'm trying to figure out, like, I had that one in college that I used a lot of times. So I just want to make that very clear, even though, like I said, I think we do need to expand what is acceptable for women, because we say that women are liberated and women are free and women can be sexually, whatever they want to be and express themselves. But then if a woman does give you men numbers, you know what I mean? Like somebody, since we were already talking about Russell Simmons, somebody like Russell Simmons can say, I slept with 1,000 women. And most people, I mean, to me, I'm thinking, ew, like how many diseases that you probably have in between those 1,000? Like I can imagine, like, ew, don't touch me. I know you probably got something, like, ugh. But a lot of guys would look at that like, oh, like it's a badge of honor that he has these 1,000 women. He's had sex with 1,000 women, and they look at that as something that was like, I want to be like Mike. Pow. Like they want to be like that. Whereas if you flip it and you have a woman that is telling you that she was with 1,000 dudes, it's not gonna get the same reception. I think even if she told you she was with 1,000 women, I don't believe that it would get the same reception. I think you're still gonna look at her with the side eye. I don't see, and I could be wrong, but I don't see any men looking at a woman that has slept with 1,000 men with that same level of allure that they would a man. Now, I'm not gonna say that they wouldn't still try to sleep with that woman if they knew that she took 1,000 dicks. They probably would be like, okay, if you took 1,000, what's 1,001? You know what I mean? But I think that I'm not going to say that they wouldn't still sleep with her, but I think they would treat her differently. And I don't think that she would get the same level of respect where, like, somebody like Russell Simmons or whatever, like, oh, you had 1,000 women? Well, that's what's up. You must have lived a wild life. You was a wild boy. Like, they ain't going to say that about the girl. They ain't say you was a wild girl. They going to say she's a hoe. Like, that's just that is what we as women get. And I felt that. I felt the judgment when I said it. I probably shouldn't have never left my mouth, but I could feel the judgment. And I was like, oh shit, I said that out loud. And not only did I say it out loud, I said it loudly and incorrectly. So now I got two things. Like, not only am I wrong, I got people thinking that I'm a hoe and I'm not. Like, you ever been hoe shamed, but you really was never a hoe? Like you never had that wholeness. Like I don't have a whole card. Like I don't have a whole bone. And I think the reason why I don't have a whole bone is because I think you gotta have a level of willingness to do some shit. And I don't have that. Like my patience with people in general is very low. Like my fucking patience is testy than a motherfucker. Like, my patience is testy than a motherfucker. But if you are very sexually fluid, you have to be willing to go with some shit. Like somebody, they pull out some anal beads and you go, okay, cool. Like that's just kind of how you kind of flow. That's not me. Like if you pull out some shit that I'm be like, okay, is that piss? Is that a can of piss? Like I can't. I'm sorry. Like this, no. So I can't get with that. And you have to have a level of willingness. And I don't have that level of willingness. Plus, I was picky as hell. So in college, as a younger woman, I was very picky. So I only liked a guy that looked a certain way. And if you didn't fit into that criteria, I didn't want to date you. And it was very shallow, which was crazy because I wasn't on the level. I'm not on the level now to be able to be like, I won't date you. But I was very shallow and I had this perception in my mind about what I was attracted to. And it was like, if it was outside of that box, I was like, I don't want it. If it ain't coming in a full Tesla box, I don't want it. I don't want no Camrys. I don't want no Hondas. I just want a Tesla. And that was all I wanted. But now that I'm older, of course, I think my perception of what I find attractive has changed anyway. But being young back then, being picky, you can't be a picky hoe. Like there's no such thing as that. And if you are offended by the term hoe, forgive me. I don't know what else. Promiscuous person. There you go. for the lack of a better term, I was like, I'm trying to think of another term that I can use. Promiscuous person, right? So as a promiscuous person, you can't be picky. Promiscuous people are not picky. Like you just go with the flow. Like, oh, like you here, I'm here, let's go. Let's, like Chris Rock said, you know, you think about stuff back in the day, like the stripper that didn't have no teeth, like you're like, oh, I saw her, she didn't have teeth. Like, it's just, promiscuous people just go with the moment. And that wasn't me. And you probably like, Lise, you doing a lot of convincing. That I'm so not convinced that you're doing so much convincing. And look, and if you find that episode, which it was on Facebook, so you may or may not find it, you will understand what I'm talking about. You will understand exactly the words that are coming out of my mouth. But just in long story short of what I'm talking about is that I think that women don't get the same level of freedom, sexual freedom, as men. All right, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in to Millennialz Anonymous podcast. Yes, we will be back again. We have some guests coming here on Millennialz Anonymous as well. So we're going to be talking to a bunch of different people from different walks of life. So if you listen now, baby. So if you're interested in potentially being on Millennialz Anonymous, please just let me know. Just send me an email at lisa@lisewinnie.com and I will certainly get back to you. You know how to find us. So if you are on iTunes or Google or iHeartRadio, radio.com, you can find us. We're also on 2 online radio stations coming up. So right now we're just on WPIR 98.4 FM, but we will be on WRDR eventually, I guess. I don't know. We don't have a time or date or anything like that, but it's coming. So make sure you tune in and lock in for that, and I'll let you know. So go to our website. It always is updated with different things that are coming. So that's www.millennialz.us. We appreciate all the people that rock with us, all the people that listen to us, all the people that support us. We want to maybe be able to continue to grow, and we appreciate everything that you guys do for us. And like I said, everything that's on here is my opinion. It is opinion based, so it doesn't make it true. It makes it my opinion, and my opinion may be different from your opinion, but it doesn't make it wrong. It just makes them different. Okay, so if you, like I said, if you felt some kind of way because you was like, oh, her opinion is different from my opinion, that's okay. All right, it's okay to have different opinions. I want people to know that you can have different opinions. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with having a different opinion than somebody else. Ain't nothing but a conversation that needs to be had. If you got a different conversation and you feel as passionately as I feel, but in a different direction, all we need to do is have a conversation. We may still agree to disagree in this motherfucker, but at least we can figure out where the other person is coming from and why they believe that. So I believe in communication, and I believe in dialogue and conversation, and that is why Millennialz Anonymous is what it is, because I believe in it. I believe the children of the future. So if we talk to each other, we can certainly make things happen. And if you haven't had a chance, again, I'm going to say it again, since we're ending off on this podcast, to like and subscribe to Brunchin', you better do that. So go to like and subscribe to Brunchin' on all major podcasting platforms, most major podcasting platforms, so that you can find it. And we are working on getting on a couple of other platforms, Millennialz and Brunchin'. So just stay locked and loaded and tuned in for that, because we got some things that we're trying to get on. So if you don't have access to it yet, you will. Okay, you will. We're just working on it. So make sure you like and subscribe. Again, we got Head Crack coming up next week on Brunchin'. So if you want to hear more from him and hear about his flow and his musical geniusness, make sure that you tune in for that. And then we got some other hot guests coming on Brunchin'. So I'm a little bit blown away by the things that we've been able to get over there on Brunchin'. I've been working to try to get some guests, some special guests over there. So I'm happy at the results that we're getting over there. And again, if you want to be on either one of the podcasts, just let us know. All you got to do is find us, and we've been having a lot of people find us recently. So just make sure that you send a message to www.millennialz.us. It's right on the first page. Just let us know what you want, who you are, and how we can reach you. Or you can send me an email directly. Just make sure Like I said last time, just make sure I know what it is that you want, what you're trying to do, and how we can work together. You know what I say? Like, I like working with people. I'm not that type of person. I like working together. So make sure that you reach out to us. Thanks again for listening and subscribing. And if you haven't done so, subscribe and like on Facebook and YouTube as well. And I promise you, I'm going to stop talking eventually. So like and subscribe on Facebook and YouTube. Go to Millennials Anonymous on Facebook and Instagram, and also on YouTube, and you can find us and make sure you know where everything is happening and why. Bye.